So what I have up on the screen is a meme. It's a meme that you've probably seen if you've been in the programming circles or web development circles for any amount of time. Like, this meme is shared over and over on the Programmer Humor subreddit. I think the joke's kind of actually worn itself out by now, but I do remember back in the day, so when I was learning how to do web development for the first time, it was back in high school, and this was a real question. I remember trying to do all this crazy nonsense with floating left and floating right and trying to align all my stuff on a page, and it was an absolute nightmare. But the truth is that this has become benign in the year 2024. It's actually been pretty simple and trivial to do since around like 2014, but this is old news, and I'm just going to show you real quick why that is. So I have here like a little mock web page here, and I got these 5 red squares, and all I want to do is center them and align them in the middle of this box here. Okay, now, well, so back in the day this would have been an absolute pain, but now it is super straightforward. So here's the code, right? Or here's the HTML and CSS for this page. Here, I'll put these side by side. And then with just 3 quick lines, I'm going to align the squares the way that I just described. So display, flex, justify content, space around, line items, center. Boom. And there we go. It was that easy. And the way that this is possible is because nowadays we have what we call the grid and the Flexbox. So the CSS grid is what we use to align like the bigger items on a page. So for example, so these boxes here, like this box, this box, this box, and this box, I'm using the CSS grid for that. You can see here the container has this display grid property. But when you want to align smaller items or items within items, it's generally easier. It depends on what you're doing, but it's generally easier to use a Flexbox, and that's what's going on here. I'm using a Flexbox for this. And see, one of the cool things about the Flexbox is as I move the page, they adjust themselves. That's cool. So actually though, I'm not here to show you how to use grid or how to use Flexbox. Rather, I'm here to show you how you can learn them in a much easier and intuitive manner. And that is with Flexbox Froggy and Grid Garden. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just really quick Google Flexbox Froggy and it'll take you to this page right here. So this is a little mini game that intuitively shows you how to use Flexbox, and it's very simple. So this pond here is the container, and all I got to do is move the frog onto the lily pad. It'll explain everything you need to know, and you just got to come up with the right line to get the frog onto the lily pad. So in this case, I want to get it to the right side of the container here, so I'm just going to use flex end. Boom, moving on. Let's just do a couple more pages real quick. I got 2 in the center. That's just going to be justify content center. And then I got 3 in the center, although there's a little gap in between the edge and the lily pad. So I believe that's going to be space around. Easy. So this is a really easy and intuitive way to go and learn how to use Flexbox. So if you've ever wondered or you've ever had trouble with it and you haven't heard of this, get on it, go through all the levels. I promise you it'll make things much easier for the rest of your life, to be honest. They got the same thing for the CSS Grid. Actually, before I explain that, I want to just give a quick shout out to the company that makes this. This is Codepip. You can find their website here, and they have a bunch of games actually. So let's see if we can find the rest of their games. I think when I saw this, they only had the 2 games, the Flexbox Froggy and the CSS Grid one, but it looks like now they've come up with a bunch of cool games. I haven't tried them all. Maybe in another video I will check them all out, but for now, just check out the CSS Grid one. And then once again, so here we have some water and we have some vegetables that we need watered, so we just need to move the water onto the carrots here. It's that easy. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you guys. It's really nothing complicated. Please go out and check out these games if you've ever wondered how to if you've ever wondered about this, or you've had trouble aligning stuff on a web page. This is going to help you out a bunch, especially because a lot of frameworks like CSS frameworks or the React component frameworks, they'll use a grid or grid-like components for you to use, and underlying them is the CSS Grid. So it helps to know how the CSS Grid and Flexboxes work. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys check these games out. And with that, adios.